Our next inductee is Frank Bly. Frank Bly was a three-year varsity litter winner in football. He quarterbacked the 1948, 49, 1950 Edmonds High School football teams, the infamous 49 and the tremendous 1950 Northwest League championship teams. He was first team All Northwest League in 1949, 1950, first team All-State quarterback in 1949 and 1950, first team high school All-American in 1950, and selected to play for the state squad versus the city in 1951. There's a story about Frank's football career, at least at Edmonds, that almost never happened. The story goes that Frank entered Edmonds as a freshman in 1947, transferring from Lincoln High School of Seattle. He started school at Edmonds a few weeks after football practices had already started. When he asked Coach Rich Rowe for a uniform, Coach Rowe told him all the equipment had already been given out and that Frank would have to wait until the following year to play. Frank contacted an assistant coach at Lincoln, telling him that he could not get a uniform until the next year. The coach told Frank to start throwing passes to a manager outside the track that surrounded the football field, knowing that when Coach Rowe saw how well he could pass, Frank would get a uniform that season. Sure enough, the next day, assistant coach Stu Smith saw Frank passing to one of the managers and excitedly told Coach Rowe to see what a great passer Frank was as a freshman. Almost immediately, Rich went to the locker room and began removing parts of uniforms from lockers of those players who weren't at practice that day. Frank had a uniform, which was the start of his historic career at Edmonds High School. Frank would accept a scholarship to Washington State in 1951 to play football for Forrest Evashevsky. Unfortunately, Forrest would leave the next year to go to Iowa, and Frank didn't want to part with his family and his youngsters. Instead, he took care of his family, came back to this side of the state, served as a deputy sheriff in King County. He continued his passion in football, playing 9 seasons as the quarterback and defensive back for the Seattle Rambler semi-pro football team. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Frank Bly into the Edmonds Woodway High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Jerry was one of my assistant coaches in Edmonds High School, and I played football with John Garner. Good evening. Thank you for coming. I'm honored to be here. I want to thank Angie and her staff for putting this program on. She did a real good job last year. I want to thank my parents for encouraging me and letting me play football. I want to thank my coaches, Sue Smith, Rich Rowe. They were great coaches, great teachers. They never raise their voice around us, never put pressure on us, and wanted us to have fun playing football. You people are all a bunch of pumpkinheads today. What do you do when you get a little nervous? He sings in some productions. And she says, Brenda told her to look out there. I wanted to thank the coaches Rich Rowan and Stu Smith for all they did for me. I believe the 1949 team had the best offensive line in the state of Washington. We were unscored upon for 7 games. We were undefeated that season. We outscored our opponents 192-19. Most of those players were on Stu Smith's boxing team, and they took a back seat to nobody. They loved football and contact. We are all in our 80s now, and the ones that are left. I'm 80-some years old, 30 pounds heavier, 3 inches shorter. Playing football for that 1949 team was like a walk in the park. We had an outstanding line. I want to thank my parents, my coaches, my teammates, my departed brothers. Thanks to my absent brothers. Thank you.